It's time for an inside look at the most powerful motorsport on the planet. WFO Radio, NHRA Nitro.
It's the most exciting sport on earth as far as I'm concerned.
Take a walk through the Nitro pits as we go one-on-one with the stars of drag racing.
Hi, I'm Courtney Forrest.
I'm Tony Schumacher.
Hey, you're with Matt Hagan. This is Ron Capps, Matt Hagan's personal friend. You're on WFO.
Featuring the NHRA's Alan Reinhart.
Our events are truly an experience. They're not just a spectator event, they are an experience.
So get in, sit down, and hold on with host Joe Castello as he goes WFO.
Thanks, brother. Always love being on WFO, baby. Nobody brings it to you better than you, brother.
Now crank it up. It's time to go WFO. Here's your host, Joe Castello.
Hey everybody, welcome back to WFO Radio, NHRA Nitro. I'm Joe Castello, and we have got a winner's edition for you, following up the Lucas Oil Nationals out there in Brainerd, Minnesota. We've got Alexis Dejoria on the phone line for a full debrief coming up in just a little bit. Then we're going to go back out to Brainerd with on-location audio with Leah Pritchett following her win and record run of 364. How crazy was that? We are going to hear from Joe Barlam. We're going to hear from Nicky Boninfante out there on location after the victory for the Tequila Patron team. We're going to hear from Tanner Gray. We're going to hear from Justin Ashley. We're going to hear from Brian Heath, top Sportsman winner, Jerry Savoie, and Pro Stock Motorcycle. Of course, it is going to be a great show. You're absolutely going to love it. Now, if you're a first-time listener to WFO Radio, well, you checked in at just the right time. You found the show. Maybe a friend of yours sent you the link. I'm always encouraging everybody to copy the link, paste the link, email it to a friend. Check out this show. When they click it, it'll play. Simple as that. Maybe you got a little email blast that you do. Maybe you've got a Facebook page. You can share it. You can copy it. You can paste it. You can do all of that stuff. Well, we have got a great show this week, and then it's on to the Chevrolet Performance U.S. Nationals, NHRA Countdown. We really want to grow the audience. And the people I'm about to tell you are the ones who make it possible. Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School, the Dragster Adventure, frankhawley.com. Do you know you can drive one of these cars? You got to check it out, the Dragster Adventure. Also, Rodax, coffeeandgrills.com, Marvin Rodak, hot sauce, spice rub, barbecue, gourmet coffee. Number one, roasted fresh per your order. Go to Rodax, coffeeandgrills.com, Rodaks. The School of Automotive Machinists and Technology, samtech.edu, education at full speed. Next week, Brian Massengill going to be on, going to preview the Samtech Factory Stock Showdown. And that's one reason we caught up with Leah out there at the track, because she is testing, getting ready to race in the Samtech Factory Stock Showdown. We're going to have a full debrief or preview next week, but check out samtech.edu if you want to become an engine builder or get into the automotive engine building or machinist field. They've got a great program, samtech.edu, and support WFO Radio. And, of course, racersupply.store.com. Online parts, 5% off, promo code WFO Radio. They've got all the brands shipped to your door. Check them out. racersupply.store.com. Also getting some promotional help from the folks at Drag Racing Edge magazine. You can subscribe online. bigfishtools.com, doing our website, and some of our listeners now getting websites done. Get your website done before 2018. Extreme Velocity 3 Drag Racing. Listeners trying to win their way on the show by drag racing. How cool is that? Joining us now, he called the action out there in Brainerd. Too bad there wasn't a lot of action to call, right? Nothing great. Alan Reinhart joins us now. Alan, welcome back.
Hey, Joe. Yeah, great to be here. Yeah, it's just too bad, another ho-hum race. What are you going to do? I know, most of the fans went home kind of, shaking their heads. And
yeah, well, all those people who post about NHRA, slowly dying on the vine. Yeah, guess they're right. Quickest run ever, Top Fuel. Quickest run ever, Funny Car. The 379 barrier broken. Excellent racing. Alexis Dejoria back in the winner's circle after a long time. Takes over 10th. Leah Pritchett, another victory. First time two ladies have won in the Nitro ranks together. 250th win for women. Tanner Gray, fourth win on the season as a rookie. Leads the pack. Just incredible stuff. Jerry Savoie, got to throw him in there. We're going to hear audio from everybody. But put it all into words.
It was a pretty awesome event. You know, Brainerd's always been known for having a tremendously smooth surface, and that's a big deal for these cars. You know, any little, no matter how small, any little bump, any little imperfection can upset the balance when you're trying to put that much power down to the ground. And so a good, solid, flat, smooth racing surface is key. We had that. We had tremendous weather. Friday was one of those Disneyland conditions, and Sunday wasn't too shabby either since the clouds hung around all day. Temperatures were good, track was good, and everybody took advantage of it. It was pretty awesome. You know, the Leah Pritchett 364 national record is getting a lot of headline, and it should. But if I'm not mistaken, the 4 quickest runs in the history of the sport were all made this weekend in Top Fuel. You know, the incoming record was 66.2 or 66.8, and I think we saw 4 runs better than that during the course of the weekend. So it wasn't just, you know, hey, Friday night, boy, look at me, I'm a big hero, and now everybody go back to the real world. There was some great side-by-side action in racing. You know, you look at the Antron Brown and Brittany Force. That's the first time in history a 360 run lost on race day. And, you know, the whole thing was like that. You know, somebody wants to tell you they lost because they had the bad lane. They'll have to explain that to me in detail.
Yeah, and keeping track first round, the left lane was getting the lion's share of the wins, but when the quicker car has lane choice, they choose the lane, and then they are quicker already. That's going to happen as the day went on. We saw it then all of a sudden start to move back and forth. Clay Milliken, how about David Grubnick telling us, you know, I'm working on something. It's an anomaly. I got to see it again. All right, you saw it again and again, and all of a sudden I'm thinking they have got something good just as we're going into the Chevrolet Performance U.S. Nationals. Just big performances coming out of a lot of different places.
You're exactly right. And, you know, I know that you've had an opportunity to speak with those guys a lot over the years. David Grubnick is a guy that prides himself on not tearing up equipment. You know, never going to take a starting line that's either going to, you know, boy, if this goes, it's going to be awesome, and if it doesn't, it's going to explode. He just is always very careful and very tedious and very detail-oriented. And so he's not the guy that is going to, you know, all of a sudden be a tenth of a second faster than he was last week. But he's also not the guy that's going to all of a sudden be a tenth of a second slower than he was last week. You know, he's a guy that really focuses on the details, works it out, and when he gets something that works, he should be able to make it work for a long time. And, you know, the lane choice comment that I made, you know, Leah Pritchett, number 1 qualifier, has lane choice. Left lane first round, 3.70. That got her lane choice over Scott Palmer. Left lane, second round, 3.71. That lost her lane choice against Clay Milliken, who went 365. So Leah Pritchett got stuck in the right lane, and all she could muster was a 366 at 330 miles an hour. So, you know, the racetrack was spectacular. It was truly one of the stars of the show this weekend because you could make great runs on both sides. You didn't have any excuse from that.
So many people tweeting and just sending comments. Wow, looks like Brainerd someplace I've got to go someday. And that is certainly the truth. We're seeing all kinds of different things out there. The zoo is a big party. The socializing, that's a big part of it. But in the end, the star are the performances. Now, 3 years in a row, I guess since the Funny Car Headers, this race has been a performance barrage, the likes of which we see at few places, and it has been incredible. But in the end, though, a couple of stories. Leah Pritchett, quickest ever, and goes on to the final round to face Antron Brown. Antron Brown doing it a slightly different way. They were very quick, just not quite as quick, but went down the track every run, got to the final round, gets taken down by Leah in the final round as she goes 368, and she has been able to, you know, put the cherry on top, so to speak. It would have been a great deal had she done that, but with also winning the race, first win since Houston, they are ready now for the U.S. Nationals and the countdown, and that is a huge story.
Yeah, they sure look like they are. You know, they've got a fast car, they've got a consistent car. Leo's been doing a tremendous job all year, and she continues. They're going to be players. You know, when they came out and won the first 2 races of the year, I think everybody knew that team was for real. I know they did, you know, some different chassis things and some stuff during the beginning or during the center of the season, and weren't finding the winner's circle, but they're back to, you know, the same style chassis that they ran at the first part of the year, back into their comfort zone. You know, if you're going to experiment, once you're locked into the countdown, once you're locked into the tracks of shootout, that's a good time to do it. But coming into Indy and beyond, you better have your ducks lined up if you want to be a champion, and they're looking pretty strong right now. I mean, they're certainly not looking like the runaway leaders. Excuse me, I got a little something stuck in my throat. But they certainly are going to be one of the leading contenders.
You mentioned Brittany Force. That car looks like it's running pretty well, losing on that whole shot to Antron Brown. But literally many races decided by thousandths of a second. Some big-time performances. Scott Palmer helping himself out in the points standings. The Coletta cars, Troy Coughlin Jr. and Sean Langdon, look like they are going to battle between each other. Palmer is not out of the woods yet, especially with 1.5 points at Indy, but he did help himself by going around, getting around Terry McMillan round one when Troy and Sean both lost first round. But it wasn't all bad news for the Coletta cars as they got a huge victory in funny car, Alexis Dejoria. But real quick, points, thoughts in Top Fuel.
I honestly believe that Terry McMillan is safe. I've been saying that for 3 weeks.
Yes.
And, it's not a mathematic lock, but the reality of the situation is for what would have to happen for him to get knocked out, I just don't see it. As far as Sean and Troy, I know they're going to be testing this week at Indy. I know that they were very unhappy with their performance in Brainerd, especially when you look at the fact that, Doug Coletta's car was running pretty good. I mean, he wasn't, one of the record setters or whatever, but he made good, solid runs down the racetrack and had, like you expect from that. And those guys all come out of the same building. I mean, it kind of boggles the mind that the other two cars can be what looks like that far behind Doug. There's some kind of mechanical issue on Sean's car the first couple of 3 qualifying runs. There was no doubt about that at all. Looked like they found it for the first round, but they're still not where they need to be.
Yeah, they got to run. That's the problem with bad qualifying. Not that 10th is awful, but bottom half, you got to run Antron Brown first round. You uncork a 373, and Antron goes to 69, and all of a sudden, see you later. Meanwhile, Doug was 69 and 70 in the first 2 rounds, so he had a pretty quick hot rod. Just very tough racing. The Final Four, Leah, Clay, Antron, Steve, and all racers who have stepped up big time. Now let's move over to Funny Car, where Alexis Dejoria, we're going to hear from Alexis minutes from now over the phone. Just so much debriefing. Didn't want to catch her out there, winner's circle on location. Really wanted to dig deep with Alexis. She's going to talk about, confidence and how she had lost it and then got it back, and Nicky and Tommy D and what they've been working on, and patience was the word. Well, it paid off. Huge win with big-time points implications from 14th to 10th. Boy, this countdown is exciting.
You're right. And she, I don't think, was on anybody's favorite list going into Sunday, just for the simple reason that, some of the other cars had been so much quicker and so much faster. And you qualify in the number 10 spot, she's going to have Tim Wilkerson first round. Wilkerson, who just screwed up, and I think he would probably tell you that maybe in some stronger language, to let the first round get away. And then after that, Alexis and her team seemed to find what they had been missing, and they certainly deserved their last 3 round wins, even though the first one, they would tell you, was a little bit of good fortune. Big
matchup against Cruz Pedregon, and he's sitting 10th and struggling. I got to speak with Cruz. He says, we're going to get it. We knew we were going to have these problems. We're fits and starts and all of that, but this was a horrific weekend for Cruz, and yet he still gained 20 points when Matt Hagan could not, had to shut it down in the first round. They had that short, I guess, in the one of the systems on the car. But Alexis, if she gets put down by Cruz, they're probably not making the countdown. She wins, goes on to beat John Force by a couple of thou, Tommy Johnson by a couple of thou in great racing, and then she's all the way back.
Yeah, I mean, they took advantage of the situation that was presented to them. Cruz's car, I was baffled. They ran well in Sonoma. They ran very good in Seattle. They didn't end up with anything to show for it because of a broken throttle cable, but the car ran very good in Seattle. They went to the Night of Fire at Norwalk last week and made 2 of the best runs of anybody that was there, both of them in the 80s. And then they show up in Brainerd, and literally the first 3 runs never made it to the Christmas tree. So I don't know what happened. I don't know what changed. I don't know, but something was definitely different on that car. And I don't believe they ever did find it. They basically crippled it in final qualifying. With 17 cars on the property, they were 17th going into final qualifying. And they basically crippled it just to get it to go down the racetrack somehow. 411 is not going to beat anybody on race day, at least in theory, but it was enough to get him into the field since the bump was a 418. And then Matt Hagan has the problem. And for the record, and I spoke to Dickie Venables, we were on the same plane coming home yesterday, and he said, I don't want Dave Leahy to get blamed for that because that wasn't what it was. And everybody, when you have, it shut off, everybody, oh, yeah, that stupid safety system. That wasn't what it was. It was the physical kill switch itself, the kill switch that Matt uses if he needs it, shorted out. And he said he didn't know if, it got kicked when they were getting in, if somebody hit it when they were servicing in the pits. He didn't know. When they fired the car, it started, did the burnout, it was fine, and then it just quit. And when they got it back and started, kind of going over, they found that was the problem. But it was the physical kill switch itself, not one of the normal safety systems that you think about on the car. But the bottom line is once the car shuts itself off, you're done for the day. So Cruz gets a round win, unopposed, didn't get down the racetrack, comes back against Alexis in the second round, didn't get down the racetrack, and she made him pay.
There you have it. Tough points days for Jim Campbell, Johnny Lindbergh, Del Worsham, pretty much as bad as it can get when you lose first round and the competition from behind goes all the way and wins the race. So now Alexis with that number 10 spot. Robert Hight, though, wow, 379, quickest run in funny car ever, a major milestone, maybe the last ET milestone we're going to see for a long time. Barrier breaker. Every national record is a milestone, but the breaking of one of those 10th of a second barriers from 90s to 80s, 80s to 70s, and looked like, again, had the quickest hot rod of all, and gets to the semifinal against Tommy Johnson, and just the strangest moment, double steps, but catches it, but didn't realize he caught it. Spoke with him on the top end, heard you speculating on the mic. I went right over to him. Robert, did you think you red lighted? He goes, I did red light. No, you didn't. And then his guys told him, no, you didn't. And the moment washed over his face. I've never seen that happen. He was just distraught at that moment because he didn't know he could still pedal the car and get back in it.
And, the strangest thing about that, and it's happened to everybody, okay? It's not like, this is a unique thing. It's happened to everybody. You're amped up. You've got a tough opponent in the other lane. If Robert Hight pulls up and he's racing Joe Castello, he's not double-stepping. No offense. But when he pulls up and he's racing a Schumacher car, and, especially, Tommy Johnson's been out there a long time, and Tommy, like Robert, very focused, doesn't make a lot of mistakes, is going to do what he needs to do to get the thing done. And mentally, I got to step up, I got to step up, I got to step up, and your foot just takes off sometimes before the brain says go. But, Robert said when he double-stepped, his first thought was, and he looked and saw something on the wall that he took to be Tommy's win light. And what it was, I don't know. But at that point, his first thought is, well, it's over. There's no reason to get back on the gas because, A, you're just going to look dumb, and B, if you blow it up or do something, you're just causing a lot of work for your guys, and you already lost the race. But he, at that point was watching Tommy going, come on, man, hit something, which in his mind would have put him back in. But the reality of it is, yes, Robert made a rare mental error. He doesn't make a lot of those. But he also, that's going to help him, I think, refocus going forward because, he just understands I've got a car that can not just win races, can win championships. I need to be sure that I'm in the right place mentally, that I'm focused, that I'm paying attention to what I'm doing, and that I carry through, that I execute my job. And he's certainly good enough to do it, we've seen. So this might be a situation, as bad as it hurts at the moment, you ever, it's like in sports, if a team's just rolling along, gee, wouldn't hurt you to lose one before the playoffs.
Yes.
Just to remind everybody that you can screw this up. You're not invincible. Don't go into every game going, we got this. And I think that's going to make Robert even stronger and tougher in the playoffs.
I agree. Final round, Alexis, Tommy, fourth thou, just such a great race. And we saw so many races decided by 0-0 something.
Mm-hmm. There were plenty of them. Well, again, good racetrack. You could win on both sides. So cars were making good, clean runs on both sides. I also thought, you look at the reaction time of Tommy in the final round, and he is a guy that doesn't, just absolutely doesn't go in deep stage. But he did that time, and, he knew Alexis's car was running good. It's like, hey, we'll take every advantage. If this turns out being a 3-inch race, I'm not going to lose it because I was trying to get, I was trying to shallow stage. And, it's the old classic. There's no lane choice in the winner's circle. So if there's ever time to roll that thing and chunk it in deep, then the final round's the time to do it. He did. He got a little bit of an advantage in the reaction time, just didn't have enough car.
Very, very interesting stuff. Funny car, Top Fuel, both won by, lady racers. And honestly, I was surprised at the milestone, the first ever that they had been won by, lady drivers. I guess because Erica had been part of multiple lady racer wins, but it had never been 2 nitro categories won by females. And so that milestone is over.
Yep, that's it. Erica had been part of a lot of female double-ups. Angel had been part of a lot of female double-ups. We've certainly had opportunities before. We had 2 females in the final of the nitro classes, but first time that they pulled it off, and it's okay. I guess yes, it's the first time, but in my mind, I don't see that as like a big news thing. You get so used to having the ladies holding trophies at the end of the day. It'll go down in history, I guess, as the first time, but I don't see that as a huge news story just because we're so used to seeing, was anybody surprised that one of the women won funny car? No. Was anybody surprised that one of the women won dragster? No. Well, then why would you be surprised that they both happen on the same day? It just, in my mind, that's not a huge deal just because we get so used to the women winning all the time anyway.
Yeah, I see it both ways. When JR won a couple of weeks back, mentioned that it was acknowledged as a historical milestone, and I had a lot of pushback from listeners, angry, in fact. We shouldn't even talk about that. Kind of, bizarre. Listen, it's a fact, though. It's a fact. This was the first time that this has happened. Fact. Whether you like it or don't like it or want to promote it or not promote it or make a big deal or never talk, it doesn't change the fact that it's a fact. And so when it happens in the future, it will be less of a deal. This was the first time. 50 years from now, and they say, when did that happen the first time? This was the weekend. Moving on to Pro Stock. Tanner Gray, number 1, 15-car field, storms through the field. And this kid is just on the money on the starting line. Goes on to the final round against Bo Butner. Bo, the other racer who has just been really strong over the course of the year, and I think we just saw what could end up being the championship preview.
Those 2 are definitely going to play in it. They're not the only 2, but those 2 are definitely going to play in it. The KB cars are going to be part of it as well. The red and blue KB cars, of course, Bose comes out of that same stable. Drew Skillman has certainly flexed some muscle here as of late, and I'm still waiting for the elite folks to break out a little bit. Erica won the race earlier in the season, and they've been okay, but I'm surprised that with what we saw earlier in the season, when they came out the first 3 or 4 or 5 races and looked like they were on pretty close to par performance with the others, I'm surprised that they seem to have fallen off a little bit as the year goes on, because that's certainly not a trait that their team has shown in the past. But, Tanner Gray, if somebody else wants to be Rookie of the Year right now, boy, you better do something really spectacular.
Yeah, like what? What's it going to take? Winning the championship, I think.
Yeah, that would do it. Raising the announcer salaries.
Oh, my God. That's because not only you win the Auto Club Road to the Future, but I think you become sainted.
That would garner you some votes, I promise.
All right, Pro Stock burnouts. Let's focus on Pro Stock. There was a lot of stories, but one that kept happening over and over again, and I know you wanted to keep it going, and I wanted to keep it going. Shane Gray is breaking in tires for his father, Johnny, and for the whole team, really, coming up at the Chevrolet Performance U.S. Nationals. There's 3 generations of Gray racing the same category at the same time. A great story. Johnny first told us at Gainesville that they were going to try to make this happen. It is now going to happen. And so Shane is out there breaking in tires because, as you said, Pro Stock tires are garbage the first couple of runs, and then they come in. To do it, he's doing these mega nuclear burnouts, and the fans who maybe are unaware of that side until you told them, they are on their feet cheering as hard or harder than when Robert went 379. They are loving this. Then a dry hop. Then the other racers start saying, oh, man, if he's going to do it, I'm going to do it. Derek Kramer did it. Vincent Nobile did it. And isn't that right there exactly what the fans want? And the fans responded from there.
Yeah, and, just for those who may not be aware, pro stock cars do not like brand new tires. That's a fact. You've got to do 2 or 3 good hard burnouts, a couple of launches on them to get them seasoned a little bit. You could put a new set of tires on their car and go down the racetrack, but they're simply not as fast. They will pick up 3 or 4 or 500s after you've broke them in a little bit. Over the years, there have been a number of teams that have had literally a burnout car. The KB guys have a burnout car. It's a pro stock car that was in the trailer when the trailer caught on fire a few years ago. They skinned the body off of it, put a 572 crate motor in it, and they use it. It's a roadster. It's got no windshield, no roof, no fenders, and they use it strictly to do burnouts to break in new tires. V. Gaines, for a number of years, one of the guys that worked for him, had a super gas car built, just a roadster, that was built with big enough wheel wells that it would take pro stock tires, and he would go out and break in pro stock tires anytime he'd go race. You look at Paul Nitzos, who runs in Top Sportsman, runs brand new tires every time he races, breaks them in for Vincent Nobile, part of the Mountain View tire thing. But everybody has got a way to break in tires, except apparently the Grays. So they decided that, okay, well, we got to get some tires broke in. Let's just go up there, run the race. And in the meantime, we'll do these big old massive burnouts. The dry hop really surprised me. I kind of laughed out loud when that happened. But when Shane started doing long burnouts and the fans started responding, some of the other guys did too. I thought the most telling thing of the weekend was when, I don't remember if it was you or Brian, interviewed Greg Anderson at the top end. And he said, everybody keeps asking what's wrong with pro stock. He said, well, you know what's wrong with pro stock? We're not having any fun. He said, Shane's out there having fun. He's the biggest star of the show. He said, we need to start having fun again. And then come Sunday, a few of the teams were doing the lengthy burnouts. A long burnout is not going to hurt your pro stock car, even if you don't need to break in tires. A dry hop is probably not something you want to do every time, especially if you're in the final round with money on the line. But a long burnout is not going to slow your car down, not going to hurt it, not going to bother it at all. So why not, if the fans love it, why not go out and do it?
Well, and let's pause for a moment on that. The dry hop, yeah, I get it. I think maybe some more study would have to be done. I talked to Jep from Gray, and he said, they looked at the clutch and they didn't see, damage or anything that was terrible. That was one off. Okay, I get it. If we don't have dry hops, as much as I like them, I happen to be down there at the turnoff, so I didn't see it. I'm going to have to go back and check it out. But I heard about it, everybody talking about it, and it was great. But yes, let's focus on the burnouts. So our very unscientific anecdotal evidence, which is the comments from people, everybody loved it. Universal. There wasn't a person who said, that's not cool, man. Those burnouts are a waste of time. And, when the fans stand up and cheer, that's not why we're here. We're just out here to race, and we really don't care. Everybody, Greg, everybody said, we love this. What is it going to take, Alan? Try to create a scenario where the pro stock racers get in a room and say, hey, everybody, let's just agree to do this. And if we all agree to do it, then we're all doing it and everything remains equal. And then the time that somebody doesn't do it, we're all going to look at you and say, why did you break the compact that we have made here today to do long burnouts and save the category? If, in fact, the category, as some have said, is in need of help, and this is making the fans very happy, why would you not, as a category, get together and just agree to do it?
Well, I guess you could. I don't know that you need to. If I decide I'm going to do a long burnout, I don't care what you do. You can do a long one, you can do a short one, you can do one in reverse. I don't care. If I'm going to do a long burnout, I'm going to do a long burnout. What are you going to do about it? And you being you in the other lane. If I'm racing you.
Well, if there's a perceived advantage to not doing, these guys clearly have the opinion that the shorter the burnout or the more managed burnout, the better, heat in the clutch, whatever reason. And so that will give them a perceived advantage. And if it happens, then the burnouts go away.
No, I don't believe that's the case at all. I think it's not perceived as necessary, and that's why it's not done. not a disadvantage.
There you go.
A long burnout is not going to slow your pro stock car down. You come up with the engine cold. Okay, we're going to do a long burnout. It's going to be running an extra 30 seconds. So you come up with the engine as cold as you can get it, and you do your long burnout, and you make your run. It is not going to change the performance of your car one iota. So, but you don't have to do it, and that's why they don't. It's like, well, if we don't have to, why would we? Well, how about because the fans love it, and that should be enough in itself to get them to start doing it again.
And that's why Derek Kramer had lost first round, but I went over to talk to the guy anyway, because that's all I have to offer. That's my only leverage, is a couple of seconds of an interview at the top end. And even though Derek and his Team Ethanol machine had been vanquished by Greg Anderson, he did the long burnout, and so I tried to do what I could do to give him a little spotlight.
Yeah, then there's nothing wrong with that. If Greg's going to get the TV time, which he probably deserves for winning the round, but the guy put on a good show. There's a number of times when talking to the guy who lost the race is just as interesting, or sometimes even more so, as talking to the guy who won the race. And if they perceive that there's the downside though is if everybody does the long burnouts, then there's going to be no more. We're going to have to talk to this guy because he did a long burnout. So that part of the thing will go back to the norm, but we'll see what happens in Indy. There's no reason for Johnny Gray not to do long burnouts.
No,
so
Johnny,
do a few more of them.
1,000-foot Johnny, let's go. I love it. Pro Stock Motorcycle, the War Team, White Alligator Racing. We're going to hear, by the way, from Tanner Gray and a special guest in the on-location interviews. We're going to hear from Jerry Savoie. But they came into the weekend working on some stuff, testing stuff, and Jerry made no secret of it that people were asking him, hey, what's wrong? The other competitors kind of coming around wondering what was the situation the first three qualifying runs. Then they swapped some things back, went out there, qualified 2 and 5, and stormed to the final rounds. And Jerry Savoie takes down Ellie Tonglet in the final round, 14-17, and it looks like White Alligator Racing is as tough as they've ever been.
Yeah, unless, unlike Funny Car, unless somebody can show me something over the course of, let's say, by the time we get to Reading, then I think the Savoie bikes are going to finish 1 and 2 in the points. I mean, right now, nobody else has shown me that they can run with them on a regular basis. Hector Arana Jr. qualified number 1. He had a good bike, but they haven't had the consistency in that program that you need to win a championship. Matt Smith, the same thing. He has made some great runs, but not 4 great runs in a row kind of thing. And again, I'm not saying anything these guys wouldn't tell you themselves. They know that right now the quickest, most consistent bikes out there are the White Alligator bikes. When the Harley guys decided that they were going to make the change, started running the new street rods, they understand, okay, there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve here, but guys, we're headed for Indy, and you haven't figured it out yet. And you take Denver, that's just an anomaly. I think you can throw that one right out the window, because Eddie Krawick went into Denver and made everybody else look like they had 3-speed transmissions. But then all of a sudden we get to Sonoma a week later, and he's behind again. So, those guys certainly are not going to quit working on it and not going to quit trying to figure it out. But as of right now, they are not good enough to run with the White Alligator team, and they know it.
They do. And Jim Yates even said, what's the point of doing what we've been doing? It hasn't been good enough. We've been top 4 bikes, but not winning races, and so they made some changes. Great event all around. Justin Ashley and Johan Lindberg in the top alcohol dragster and funny car category. Justin Ashley, so I don't want to say the word grown up, but the kid sounds like he's 40 years old and he's 22. Johan Lindberg, super excited after his win. And then all the first-time winners, with exception of Trevor Larson, who won Super Comp, Eric Bell in Super Stock, Ben Line in Stock Eliminator, Jim Davis in Super Gas, Brian Heath in Top Sportsman, Bob Fisher in Top Dragster. These guys all getting their first national event win. That's cool whenever it happens, and it happened a lot in Brainerd.
Yes, it did. And most of those racers are local Minnesota area racers. So, getting the first one is cool. Winning at home is cool. Makes it an extra special moment for everybody. And, of course, Ben Line is Jason Line's younger brother, for anybody that doesn't understand the Line family tradition up there at Minnesota. They had their decals probably on almost as many cars as Goodyear. It was pretty dominant up there in the stock and super stock ranks, and Ben finally won one with his big black Mustang. And, you'll never go wrong in my world racing a big black Mustang.
Yeah, what a great final round. Couple of Mustangs, one a stick shift, one an automatic. Just great stuff. We're going to hear from Brian Heath on the show, top sportsman winners, racingrvs.com top sportsman winner, as well as Justin Ashley to represent the Lucas Oil ranks. And then the regular season is pretty much over. I know the Chevrolet Performance U.S. Nationals is the final race of the regular season, but it is also the biggest and most significant and most important race on the NHRA Tour. It's worth points and a half. So it is worth more. And now here we are, Alan. The most critical time of the year begins.
Yep, I'm looking forward to Indy. I mean, literally already preparing for it. There's going to be a lot of special things going on. You know, Indy is above and beyond everything else anyway. And there's always just some special events, some special things taking place. It's certainly a destination race for anybody that is at all interested in NHRA. If you've never been to the Chevrolet Performance U.S. Nationals, you need to do it at least once, and this wouldn't be a bad year just because, well, there is no such thing as a bad year.
Well, Leah Pritchett, Erica Enders in the Samtec Factory Stock Showdown. They're going to try to qualify. 16-car field, that's going to be awesome. More cars trying to qualify because of the 16-car field. Of course, the Hemi Challenge, the Traxxas Nitro Shootouts. If you're, within like a 24-hour drive, I think you should make the run.
I agree. Monument Circle downtown on Wednesday, where we'll have the press conference and the lotto draw, figure out who's going to be the 8th person in the Traxxas Nitro Shootouts in both Funny Car and Top Fuel, and that's an event that is open for the public to come out and enjoy if they want. I assume Don Schumacher is doing his open house. I haven't seen anything publicly about it, but I assume that he is, and that is itself is worth a trip to Indy. For the number of people that still, I think, picture drag racing as, two guys working in a garage behind the house. Go down and take a little stroll through Don Schumacher's shop. We had a media event at Colitta's shop up before the Norwalk race, and I was asked to come up there and kind of MC and oversee that thing. And it was interesting. A lot of local media from Detroit, which you would think these people are car people. These people kind of understand, the racing history and the racing heritage. And they walk into the front office at Connie's shop, and it's like, hey, yeah, this is nice. And, okay, let's go take a look. And we walk back, and it's like, wow, this is really impressive. Okay, but wait. We walk back into the chassis shop, and it's like, oh, there's more? And just keep going and going and going. And Don's shop from the machine shop to the chassis shop to the paint shop to, all of the teams bring their haulers in, park inside. The place is that massive, and it's just a really, really impressive deal. And it's open to the public, and it's not open to the public often, so that's a good opportunity to go over there and just take a walk through and look at what it takes from a manpower standpoint, from an equipment standpoint, to race at the level that they do over at DSR. It's a pretty impressive deal.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Do it. I've done it. You should all do it. Get out there. Take part. Indy is upon us now. Alan, I'll be traveling next Tuesday, so we'll get together on next Monday if that is possible. But here we go. The big go, and the playoffs countdown time is right around the corner.
Sounds good to me. I'm traveling on Tuesday also, so I will talk to you next week, and then, Indy, here we come.
Indy, here we come. I love hearing that. That means I got a St. Elmo's shrimp cocktail in my future as well. Alan, great job as usual. Thank you so much.
All right, Joe. Thank you. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Alan. There he goes, the voice of the NHRA. Alan Reinhart joins us each week right here on WFO Radio. And a couple of people out there, when I go to Brainerd, there's not a lot else going on, not a big city around, so everybody's at the track, late night, early morning, at the track, stays at the track. So I did a lot of walking around, met a lot of racers and a lot of WFO radio listeners, and they all love the Alan Reinhart segment. And it really is the original Nitro School, really, because Alan has been doing this segment on WFO since 2006, back when we were on satellite radio on XM with this show. And let me tell you, I love that conversation, a full debrief, a lot of technical information, and the Pro Stock burnouts. That is the mission. Tweet, text, write a letter to your favorite Pro Stock driver and encourage them and implore them to do the long burnouts. That's it. Do we need saving the category? I don't know if we need to save the category, but is it better than without? Yes. And I think if everybody did a long, smoky, powerful burnout, I don't think I would ever become desensitized to it. We love to see that. We love it. It was great. It was spectacular. Anyway, moving on. When we come back, we're going to hear from Alexis Dejoria. And then after that, we're going to go back on location to Brainerd. Nicky Boninfante will be right after Alexis, but I'm so excited to hear what Alexis has to say about this huge victory, this huge win. Right in the mix from 14th to 10th in the points. So glad we did that whole points recap last week. And if you missed it, go back into the archive. It is totally outdated now. But it was still very good to let you know who had to do what and where and what was about to go down. And to come from 14th to 10th, pretty spectacular. They're not safe yet, though. And what does Alexis have to say? We will find out. But right now, I want to tell you about the School of Automotive Machinists and Technology, samtech.edu. The Samtech Factory Stock Showdown. That is coming at the U.S. Nationals. We're going to have Brian Massengill from Samtech on the show next week. Going to preview the race. Now, realize this. Becoming an automotive machinist or a high-performance engine builder is possible if you don't go to Samtech, but it is much more challenging. They've got classroom instruction with practical hands-on experience. They're in the lab, on the dyno, and at the track. And in addition to blockhead and CNC programs, they now offer motorsport EFI tuning. Think about that. Electronic fuel injection. Is it the future? Is it growing? The answer is yes. They offer an Associate of Applied Science degree. They're military-friendly. They'll help train veterans who are eligible under the GI Bill. Go to samtech.edu. Be sure to tell them you heard about it on WFO Radio. If you're a young person thinking about what you're going to do with your life, it is okay to pursue something you like. Many people believe that if it's going to be work, you have to hate it. And so they go to a cubicle farm and they sit in the cubicle and it's like Office Space and they stare and hate their lives. They stare at that cubicle and they hate their lives and they think this is work. And if anything about being around the NHRA universe has rubbed off on me, it is that there are a lot of people who choose to do something that they love for their work, as I do with this show. If you love building engines, if you love getting to the bottom of stuff, if you love the technical side, go to the school, get accredited, check them out, samtech.edu, and it'll certainly make getting a job in the high-performance industry much, much easier because they are well-respected throughout the industry. samtech.edu. Start your education at full speed, and be sure to tell them you heard about it on WFO Radio. Coming up next, Alexis Dejoria.
This is WFO Radio.
Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School. Whether you're a bracket racer who wants to get better or a thrill seeker looking to cross it off your bucket list, Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School can put you on the right track. Don't believe me? Tell him, Frank.
No matter how little or how much experience you have, we've got a program for you. So if driving a dragster is on your bucket list, there's no better time than now. And if you'd like to be a pro, well, here's funny car champ, Jack Beckman.
Hey, this is Jack Beckman. Long before I was Fast Jack, I was a bracket racer who went to the Frank Hawley School. The time I spent there was some of the most exciting, intense, and fulfilling moments ever in a race car. I feel the curriculum Frank developed greatly helped me win not only the Super Comp, but also the NHRA Nitro Funny Car Championship. Frank put me on the right track. What are you waiting for?
Call them at 866-480-7223. That's 866-480-7223. Or visit frankhawley.com.
Hey, WFO Universe. Want something for free? Send a self-addressed stamped envelope with plenty of postage, and we'll load it up with free WFO stickers. That's right, I said free. Send your envelope, care of Castello Media /WFO stickers to P.O. Box 848353, Pembroke Pines, Florida 33084. Do it now.
Hey, everybody. How do you start your day? You started off with a little coffee. And do you want something cheap and vacuum-packed with garbage? Do you want to pay for a retail coffee? It's like $11. Or do you want something that is good, like RoadAxeCoffeeandGrills.com? Join the RoadAxe Army. WFO users and listeners know all about it. Over 40 grades to choose from. This is roasted fresh per your order, not to mention hot sauce, spice rub. You got to call Marvin, get on the phone line, or go to the website, RoadAxeCoffeeandGrills.com. Check it out. That's RoadAxeCoffeeandGrills.com.
Subscribe to WFO Radio on iTunes. Never miss a show. And don't forget to write a review. WFO.
RacerSupplyStore.com has what you need. RaceQuip, WeatherTech, Holley, MSD, the brands you need with personalized customer service. Doug and George are racers. It is a great website. It works very well. You've got to check them out. The next part you order from RacerSupplyStore.com.
Now, back to WFO Radio, NHRA Nitro.
NHRA Nitro, WFO Radio, Brainerd, the Lucas Oil Nationals. Just a spectacular race. We have got on-location audio. You are going to hear Leah Pritchett and Tanner Gray, all from the winner's circle on location at Brainerd. But one interview you're going to hear right now over the phone line. I have too much debrief to do with this young lady following her 5th career victory, the 250th by women, first ever time 2 Nitro ladies winning at the same time. Alexis Dejoria joins us now. Alexis, congratulations.
Oh, thank you so much, Joe. It's so great to be back on your show. It's been too long.
Yes, I was thinking that too, and you solved the problem this weekend with such a critical win on many different levels. Like, first of all, just personally to get back into the winner's circle, but the points situation, you couldn't have done better for yourself if you tried.
Oh, my gosh. There's so much we had to get done at that race. I mean, it's talk about leaving it, down to the last second. It's in true dramatic form. We missed a few races this year. We haven't won. We just couldn't get up to the numbers that everybody else was running. I mean, man, we're sitting in 14th. We have a hell of a fight against us. We got Timmy, we got Cruz, we got Dell, we got all these great cars and teams. We got to fight through to get back in that top 10. And, man, we just did it all in one weekend. And it's unbelievable. I had to put the trophy right next to my bed so I could wake up in the morning and look at it and realize it really did happen.
Wow.
We just got back on that horse, man. It just all came together, and it couldn't have come at a more perfect time.
Well, that is so true. I want to talk about your round by round and those matchups, especially the Cruz Pedregon race. Like, that is as critical as it gets. For points if you want to make the countdown. But I want to go back because I noticed, and this is my opinion, but it's just, I don't know, it's just not the same when you're not out there now. I know you haven't been in the sport of NHRA mellow yellow drag racing for like 10 or 15 years like some of the others, but you have a fan base, you have a character, you've got an attitude, there's a thing when Alexis is out there on track. And you have said it. You have been going through some struggles. You were away from the track for a while to handle some personal things, whatever they were, and we noticed Alexis is not here. But when you make your return, now you're in a situation where you got to cover ground, you got to make up a distance. You were able to do it. But was there ever a time where you thought, maybe I'm not into this like I once was?
Yeah, a few races ago, I was starting to get really stressed out. I'm like, man, we're not in the top 10, and it's been a while since we've missed it. And, I started to get ahead of myself, and, I stopped enjoying the ride. I was more concerned about the results. Are we going to get those round wins? Are we going to get those points? Are we going to make it in the top 10? And I started to lose track of everything that I love so much about the sport and getting to drive a Nitro funny car. And it was really bumming me out. And I had to come to terms. I said, I just really need to enjoy the ride again. Every time I get in that race car, no matter what happens, this is what I signed up for. This is what my passion is in life. I love that I get to do this, and I don't want to miss out on that, I'm just going to enjoy the ride. Whatever happens, happens. If we make it in, we make it in, man. And if we don't, we don't. And we can still win races, and we can still have fun. We're a great team out there. I get to drive for the greatest man on earth, Connie Coletta. He's getting a Lifetime Achievement Award. My God, he's just an incredible man. And everybody I get to race with on that Coletta Motorsports team is just incredible. So I really had to get back to my roots of, deep down inside, why am I here? Why do I love this so much? Why did I sign up for this? It's the greatest sport in the world.
It really is. It's such a great attitude for people out there. I often like to think that people learn from these interviews right here, and that attitude, just apply it to whatever you guys are doing at home. Enjoy your time here on Earth and what you get to do, whatever it is. Everyone's got their passions that they're chasing, and you can get caught up in the results as opposed to the fun of being in the moment. Let's talk about being in the moment. It was a difficult moment. Tim Wilkerson, first round, you had that experience. That's one that I don't know if I would like the opportunity to have it, to get past by a car going 270 miles per hour when you're in deceleration. We've seen it a few times. What was that like? You're like slowly floating towards the finish line. You maybe were going to get there. Here comes Tim, and you got there.
Oh, gosh. I can say, first of all, first rounds for me, oh, my gosh, my stomach's in knots. I can barely eat anything that morning. It's just such a big deal because we really haven't gotten past a lot of first rounds this year. So it was huge, and Timmy's in front of me. I got to get through him to get up to the top 10, right? So first round was definitely, a little nerve-wracking. Get out there, man, smoke the tires, and I tried to get back on it, but it seemed like the car had shut off, and then at halfway down, my foot was on the pedal, and all of a sudden it came back to life. I don't know what happened, but he just, he passed me at the last minute, and somehow I saw, or not passed me, but he was charging by me, and my light came on. I was like, man, how the hell did that just happen? It was just an incredible race. So close.
So close.
Incredibly close.
And races like that, I think the fans love them because it gives, come from behind victories. We saw it a couple of weeks ago with J.R. Todd was on the other side of it. And he was able to get around. Timmy was not able to get around. And as it turns out, whatever you did in the car, you willed the car down there, you got to the win light, and that mattered so much to set up a second-round matchup against Cruz Pedregon, who was holding the 10th spot. Cruz had struggled all weekend, but we know that sometimes you can catch a break, and first round caught a break. Something happened with Matt Hagan's car, and Cruz goes to the second round, 20 more points, so you really needed to stop him if you were going to have a chance. Sure enough, 388.3. And I feel like that was the run where Nicky has been telling me, Nicky and Tommy D, and I want to know about driving with those guys, but they've been like working on something. There's been a plan in progress going back several races, just trying to get down the track, just trying to sneak up on it. And it looks like it all paid off on that run.
It really did. We hadn't run in the 3.8 since Pomona. I mean, so that was huge. After that first round win, that's just what we need, that little step up. Okay, we got a little bit of luck in our pocket right now. Let's see what we could do second round. When I realized I was up against Cruz Pedregon, I'm like, oh, man, I'm trying not to get it in my head that I really got to beat this guy, like, right now. And, I gave an interview, in the staging lanes before I got in the car, and I said, to be honest, I feel like I could puke in my helmet right now. The nerves are just like, it's so intense, man. That that form of competition that we have, it's incredibly competitive in NHRA funny car right now. We're going so quick. I mean, the speeds of the ETs are just incredible. And, I just managed to put the frickin' blinders on. I just was out to kill. I mean, I just was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to lock it in right now. I'm going to do my very best, and whatever happens, happens. I cut a good light. I didn't deep stage or anything. I cut a decent light, and man, that 380 was like, whew, I can't even tell you. That alone was a win for me. I mean, besides just winning the round, just getting back up top again, running those numbers, it was just a dream come true. And then after that, I just felt like, all right, semifinals, now we're talking.
Well, you had to run John Forrest, but I was down there standing with John as you were on the starting line and did a quick interview with John about beating Jack Beckman. And John rolled it in a little bit against Jack and went 389.6 at 335. And he says, I roll it in because I want to be aggressive and I want to be fierce and I want to take the fight to the other guy, especially a guy like Beckman. But I hope I don't lose lane choice to Alexis because of doing that. And sure enough, you know, we're talking thousands. One will never exactly know. He was 038, went 389.6. You were 079, 388.3. So we're talking thousands. I don't know which way it would have gone, but you got the lane choice. And then we're able to the next round in just an unbelievable run against the 16-time champ. You're a 389.2 with an 063. He is a 390 with a 9 with an 048. So we're coming down to thousands, and you were able to win the race.
Oh, it was really incredible. I mean, we hauled butt up there to the starting line. We were running late.
You can say haul ass on WFO radio, just so you know.
I was hauling ass up to the starting line. We were first pair. John was already suited up, getting ready to get in his car. I'm like, what? And thank God, you know, they're courteous, respectful. He's been driving for a long time, obviously. They waited till we got in our car. You know, I'm trying to hurry up. Tommy's all, we're fine. Take a deep breath. You got this. Don't worry about it. Just go out there and have some fun. You know, and I honestly have to say I felt like it was the finals in Indy 2014, coming up against John in the finals. I had that same mindset where I'm just like, you know, I'm out to kill. I'm focused. I got the blinders on. And that was it, man. You know, I had that confidence in me. I had won first round, second round, semifinals. We ran in the 80s. I mean, I honestly felt unstoppable when I got in that race car.
Oh, that is awesome to hear, just at this right time, because I can tell, and we did an interview on location with Nicky Boninfante that we're going to play after your interview, and he just talks about how important it is and how the team is coming together at just the right time. Final round, first of all, other side of the ladder, Robert Hight, Tommy Johnson. It was a weekend of weird races. That was certainly a weird one. And you end up facing Tommy Johnson instead of Robert, who had run a 379, first ever in funny car. And now the final round is set. You versus Tommy, and all of your opponents, Johnny Lindbergh and Del Worsham and Jim Campbell and now Cruz, have all been vanquished, and you've got an opportunity to just make as much hay as possible. This was as important as it gets. 4 points, but also your guys to get this team all the way back. A runner-up would have been great. That would have been a great day, but not a win. Tell me through your pre-race prep and, of course, a 4,000 victory on the run.
Man, you know, winning the semifinals against John Force in the fashion that we did, I had that same confidence, that same killer mode, but super stoked. Like, you know what? If we win this, that would be amazing. If we don't, we got to the final round, guys. We're headed in the right direction. This is everything we've been creeping up on, trying not to rotate the earth and go over center. You know, we're just chipping away at it, and you've got to have patience. I mean, this sport is so humbling. You have to have patience with these cars. You know, anything could happen, man. But we had the setup. I was driving good. I was on point. I mean, I just felt solid. I felt so confident, and the whole team was stoked. We were all happy. We were joking around. I mean, Nicky was giving an interview, and my husband came out and, like, kissed him on the face. It was just so funny. We were just having a great time, enjoying the ride. So by the time we got up there for the finals, it was just like, hey, man, you know what? We have a car. We have a team. We have the driver. We've got everything in place. We can win this. We can win this.
And you won it. And you left on time. Great light, 76. Tommy was a little quicker and maybe rolled in a little. And, you know, final round, you just never know.
Did.
And
John definitely rolled in.
They roll in, right?
You know, if it works, it works. I try not to do that because I don't want to rob ET because, man, you know, sometimes it's important to charge down at the top end of the race of the racetrack, you know, in that form. I mean, if you got the faster car, I don't want to cheat our guys out of getting a faster run, a quicker run.
And how does that feel to know that you have the faster car at some point? Like all of a sudden, after a whole year of battling, and we're going to hear from Nicky, but tell us a little bit about that, Alexis, in that, you know, going to the drag strip when you don't have the faster car under you or a car that you know everybody's faster for a little while, it's got to be tough.
It is. You know, it really rocks your confidence. Like I said, I just lost the confidence in myself too. you know, and Tommy and Nicky were just like, man, just wait. We got this going. It's going to be all right. Once you get confidence in your car, you're going to have confidence in yourself, and it's all going to come back together for us. You know, we just got to have patience, man. We're working on new stuff right now, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen, and hopefully it happens sooner than later. But just hold on. Just hold on. It's going to be all right.
When light is on, you won the race. You've made it all the way back, all the stuff, missing the races, all of that crisis of confidence and wondering and thinking. All that is erased by one run. Yeah. You are now back a winner and in 10th. And then all that extra stuff, the 250th for women, you and Leah, Nitro winners, 2 women at the same time, first time ever. That one surprised me. But then again, if you think about Erica, Pro Stock, it makes sense. But just so much extra on the top of this victory. Once it had happened, what did it feel like?
Honestly, surreal. With it's focused and all the tension that our whole team had all day. I had an awful fight with my husband the night before. We weren't talking that morning. I mean, we barely said, 5 words to each other throughout the day. So it was a very stressful day. So by the time I got to the winner's circle, I was just so exhausted. I had barely eaten anything. I was so wiped out and just so in awe of the entire day, how it all unfolded. It just was like a dream. It was like a dream come true. I mean, when you work that hard, when you miss those wins and you miss out on all those great things, I mean, you really, when it happens, you really, really appreciate it so much more. It's like winning for the first time again. I mean, it's been since Vegas of last year, and we're a damn good team. We deserve better than that. We should be doing better than that, and we are. It just comes together. Sometimes you just have, bad years. My entire team. I mean, it's the true test of how strong and dedicated these guys are. They have been dragged through the mud. They have gone through so much. Their driver getting hurt twice, having to miss races, not doing good, not being at the top of the pack, having to fight, not getting any luck at all. I mean, if we didn't have bad luck, we'd have no luck at all. I mean, it's just been rough, and they all stuck it out. They all stood behind me, by my side. That's the true test of a strong team.
I heard you got a phone call from your dad in the media center. How happy was he?
He was so excited. He had called like 6 times, blowing up Allison's phone, my PR agent, and he was just going crazy. He was at home. I didn't even know he was watching it. I didn't know where in the world he was because he's a traveling man. But he had like 8 people over that day, and they were watching it live on Fox, and they were so thrilled. They were screaming when they finally got me on the phone. I had to go in the bathroom in the tower to talk to him because Leah was giving her interview. And it was just hilarious. I mean, they were like, we're drinking Patron for you. We got a bottle of champagne, and we watched the whole thing, and we filmed it. And, it was so incredible. It was really incredible. So I'm really blessed to have such a great supportive family and team. But, my family has always stood by me. And, even during the times where he's like, man, why did I let her do this, But, no, he has a lot of confidence in me, and obviously in my abilities to be able to wheel this beast.
Well, you say something that is, for a father to allow any child to jump into a 330-mile-per-hour beast, there's got to be a question every now and again, and you've mentioned you got hurt a couple of times, so to be in his head, I'm sure there is conflict, but days like this weekend have got to drive home the point. All right, looking forward, and here we are, Chevrolet Performance U.S. Nationals. You have won this race before. You have done this, and as much as you have gotten into the top 10, you've got tough competition on your bumper, trying to get back into the top 10, 1.5 points. How are you going to get ready for Indy?
Just continue the momentum from last weekend in Brainerd. Flying out tomorrow night to Indy. We're going to test all day Thursday, Just hopefully, keep that consistency, keep that momentum. And we're coming in with huge confidence booster from that last one. I mean, it couldn't have happened, like I said, couldn't have happened at a better time. I mean, going into Indy, just winning the last race in the way we won it, very tough competition. But, hey, we were tough competition, and we got it done. And so I feel so much better going into the U.S. Nationals this year. I honestly feel like we can come back and possibly win another race there. So it's just, it's definitely one of my favorites.
So many
I'm
things
excited.
going on. Traxxas Nitro shootouts, all that going on at Indy. A huge, huge accomplishment and a great victory. Alexis, thank you so much for coming on WFO Radio. And yes, we have missed you. But I knew, you're going to win. Sometimes we reach out and just check in. But I knew you were going to get a win and that this one would be so special to speak with you. I can hear it in your voice. It is so great.
Thank you.
It is. It is so great to have you back, not just on the track, but as a winner and competing. And that's what we like to see, and it was so much fun to watch. Good luck, obviously, in the test.
Thank you.
We'll see you at Indy, and it just gets better from here. Thanks for coming on WFO Radio.
Yes, it does. Thanks a lot, Joe.
Alexis Dejoria with us here on WFO Radio. And how great is that? If nothing else, you don't have to be a fan of Coletta Motorsports or Alexis Dejoria to appreciate and enjoy the emotional experience that is winning an NHRA Mellow Yellow Series Top Fuel event or funny car event after some time away, after struggle. And that, I can't help but want to learn from the experience. The bad times make the good times so much better. And now we'll throw it back out to the racetrack. I teased it. Nicky Boninfante. I was looking for Tommy D. I couldn't catch up with Tommy D, but we caught up with Nicky. They are co-crew chiefs. Nicky Boninfante, friend of the show. Guy is great. Let's hear what Nicky Boninfante had to say right after the win. Yeah, that's what I like to hear. We're here with Nicky Boninfante, crew chief for the Tequila Patron Toyota Camry, along with Tommy D, holding the red cup. A few weeks ago, you told me, just trying to get down the track. Just trying to get down the track. We got a plan. The plan has paid off. You have taken over 10th.
Joe, all we've been trying to do is learn. We changed our whole setup around the 1st of June when we were at Englishtown, and it's been a learning curve. When Alexis came back, she's done a really good job driving, and she's really focused on what she's doing. And the whole team they're working their butts off. And Tommy and I have been working together. We worked together in the past. And, it's been a gelling year for this whole team. So, eventually things are going to pay off, and you just got to keep put your nose to the grindstone and digging, and that's why we won.
It's easy to say that, though, but when things are not going right or you're having problems, it's easy to get down. Certainly other people get down. Is there ever a point where you guys had doubt, like, oh, man, this might not come together?
No, we never did. We knew what we had to do, and, we knew it was going to take time. And today basically, was a situation where we had so much data, but we didn't have a lot of real good runs on a really good racetrack. And Tommy and I decided first round that we were going to basically go out there and test, and just try to test because the track was so good and it was cloudy. And we just adjusted along the way, and it threw out some numbers that we were looking for. We're still off where we want to be, but we made a lot of gains, and we're going to keep going forward. We couldn't do this without Jim O and Connie and this whole team. So, Jim O's always, I always get his opinion on what's going on, and Tommy and I love working with him, and we love working with TRD and all the guys from Toyota, and we can't thank Alexis, Jesse, and John Paul and Patron enough.
Getting strong at just the right time. Go celebrate. Thanks, Nicky.
Thanks, buddy. Thank you.
Nicky Boninfante out there Brainerd, Lucas Oil Nationals, and a little Pro Stock sound effect there right beforehand. I love the sound effects also. So many great things. You're going to hear the rest of that. We've got Tanner Gray. We've got Leah Pritchett. We've got Justin Ashley, Brian Heath, top Sportsman winner, Joe Barlam. It was just a chaotic winner's circle. Everybody having a great time out there at Brainerd. It was absolutely spectacular. Right now, I want to tell you about Rodak's Coffee and Grills.com. Marvin Rodak. Rodak's Coffee and Grills.com. That is the website. Do you like coffee? Of course you do. Do you like hot sauce, spice rub, all the barbecue stuff for all you grill meisters out there? Hey, I hate to say it, but summer is going to be coming to a close. Get your grilling in, man. Get your grilling in. Stock up for the fall and the winter time. Football season, all of these things that are coming. Open a browser, go to RodaxCoffeeandGrills.com and check out what they've got. If you want to support WFO Radio, this is a great way. Great way. They sell grills. They're located in Texas, Fort Worth, Texas. We're going to have a big event down there. Thursday of the AAA Texas Fall Nationals. We're going to be out there at Rodax, and we are going to enjoy, some food and some coffee, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be a meet and greet. Everyone's going to be there. The whole world is going to be there. I don't know who's going to be there. I have received some RSVPs from Bobby Graham and WFO radio listeners in the area. Of course, Marvin's going to be there. 817-924-6821. That's the number. Give him a call. 817-924-6821. And Thursday before the Texas Motorplex, 6 to 10 p.m., Fort Worth, Marvin's, WFO, we're going to have a good time. Give Marvin a call for the details. 817-924-6821. That's RodaxCoffeeandGrills.com. I hear they might even have a special blend out there. Just saying. Got to give them a call, though. Top secret. 817-924-6821. RodaxCoffeeandGrills.com. When we come back, we're going back out to Brainerd on location with the winners.
Everybody, listen carefully.
Now you listen to me. Why do you listen? WFO, you guys are number one.
Honest. Listen.
Start your education at full speed with the School of Automotive Machinists and Technology. Accelerate your career as a high-performance engine builder with classroom instruction and practical hands-on experience in the lab, on the dyno, and at the track. In addition to the block, head, and CNC programs, SAM now offers motorsport, EFI tuning, and an Associates of Applied Science degree. And SAM is a military-friendly school, approved to train veterans and other eligible persons under the GI Bill. Start your education at full speed. Go to samtech.edu today.
Hey, this is Joe Castello, and we'll be back to the show in a second. But first, I want to tell you about CompetitionPlus.com. There's a reason CompetitionPlus.com is the leader among drag racing electronic magazines. Their trained staff is always on alert and always asking the tough questions. The end result is hard-hitting drag racing journalism with up-to-the-minute reporting. For over a decade, CompetitionPlus.com has been a pioneer as drag racing's go-to source for the latest in news, race coverage, and high-quality photography. Their trained staff thrives on getting the inside stories, and their columnists study their topics before they hit their first keystroke. When it comes to covering the races, they leave you feeling as if you've actually been to the race. CompetitionPlus.com is an honest-to-goodness, free drag racing magazine published by the most passionate of drag racing fans, who just happen to be journalists. Don't wonder what's going on in the drag racing world. Be in the know daily. Log on to CompetitionPlus.com. If you're looking for extra horsepower, check out WilsonManifolds.com, the leader in intake manifold and nitrous oxide development. They've set records and won championships in just about every series in professional racing. Sprint Cup, Nationwide, Camping World Truck Series, NHRA Pro Stock, right up to the Nitro classes. If you're looking for extra horsepower, check out the leader in intake and nitrous development at WilsonManifolds.com.
Now, back to WFO Radio, NHRA Nitro.
Welcome back, everybody. Time to go back out to Brainerd. And before we do, I just want to let everybody know that I hung out with Gareth and Hannah and everybody that I was hanging out with at the Winner's Circle. We had such a great time. WFO listeners know to gather at the Winner's Circle. It is kind of a cool time, and everybody is pressure off, and maybe I'm running around getting interviews like these, or maybe I'm just hanging out, but it is such a great time, and just love seeing everybody. It is a good time. Well, Leah Pritchett, who we're going to hear from first, was going to be testing her Samtech Factory Stock Showdown car coming up here basically Tuesday when the show is available, but later in the week it's getting hectic for everybody. So we caught up with Leah. And so I'm waiting around, waiting after I had already spoken with Nicky Boninfante and Joe Barlam you're going to hear, Brian Heath you're going to hear, Justin Ashley you're going to hear, Jerry Savoie. And the White Alligator Racing team has been unbelievable. You're going to hear Jerry. Jerry is so ready for the countdown. It is amazing. But I was so impressed by a moment that occurred at the Papa John's Winner's Circle. Everyone is getting their photographs. Leah's taking a photograph with every crew member and every sponsor and everybody. Really working Richard Shute from autoimagery.com and Mark Rabill is out. They're taking all kinds of photos. And I've got a great video of this moment I'm going to tell you about, and then I will share it somewhere on WFO Radio's Twitter, Facebook page, perhaps both. You got to follow those to check them out. I'd like to say I put out some pretty good stuff over the course of the week. I do my best. But this moment really impressed me. Now, you have to understand, we had a huge week. We had that great interview with Robert Height after the 379. That's in the archive. If you didn't hear the Robert Height interview, it was just great. Robert was incredible. Of course, everything I'm telling you is really good stuff. But after it's all over, Leah goes around. Any other pictures? Final call for pictures. Any more pictures? Crew guys, sponsors, anybody. All right. No more? No more. Everybody that's outside the ropes, all of you, the fans that stuck around, everybody, you guys, come on in. And she brings them all in. And they all gather around the car and they take this group winner's circle picture with Leah Pritchett. And to me, it was a great moment. A moment that shows me that the sport of NHRA drag racing is in really good hands with young stars like Leah Pritchett, who get it, who understand that those people that are hanging out at the ropes, maybe they'll get a hat or maybe they'll get an autograph, and that'll be great. It'll go in the drawer. But that moment, to be able to go through the ropes, what? Wait, me? VIP? In the picture with you? The winner? Yes. And they rushed in and they all got together and they all loved the experience. And I know for certain, because I have had it happen years ago, being included in a winner's circle picture, Don Campanello, 1986. Don, thank you very much. Pro Stock, appreciate it. It was good times. Still remember it to this day. You let us in your winner's circle picture after winning the Gator Nationals. All of those people, if they have the same feeling I got as a young person, they're fans for life and going to be Leah Pritchett fans for life. It was tremendous. We're going to talk about that a little bit later on, my time, tail end of the show. But right now, back out to Brainerd. Here we go. Lucas Oil Nationals, Winner's Edition, on location from the Winner's Circle, starting off with a tow vehicle interview with Leah Pritchett. Where are we getting in here?
Yep.
All right, WFO Radio. Jumping in the ride with top fuel winner and quickest ever, Leah Pritchett. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Good job. Absolutely. Thank you. I told you I'd see you at the end of the day. Thank you so much for your support.
Safety Safari coming over, everybody just celebrating a tremendous moment. This is so cool. And I just witnessed something just tremendous. You and your fans taking that picture. When did that start? That was a really cool thing.
Well, we have such amazing, incredible fans, and we're, Top Fuel and Funny Car teams are just so active all the time. And on race day, it gets down to business and its seriousness, and I don't get to spend as much time with fans as I'd like to. So when I see them, that hey, good job and keep it going and win today, and I'm like, I'll see you in the winner's circle. I was like, if and when we win, you better be there, and we're going to take one group shot. So we started doing that in Houston when we won, and we just had the most fantastic time. And the fans are out here, and they're wanting the yellow hats and pictures, and it's so cool because we wouldn't be anything without our fans. So when we are celebrating, we're celebrating with them. So yeah, we shuffle them back, standing exactly where the team had stood, and a team kneels down in front, and it brings everything together.
364-0. Does it mean as much if you don't win the race, if you don't close the deal? You get to walk out of here quickest ever and the most recent winner holding the Wally.
Basically, it's like having all the toppings on your favorite pizza, stacked on. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. It's incredible, and I think one of the most important things for us is that, yes, we have such stiff competition, and it's our goal to beat them. But in cases like that, we were resetting our own national record, and because we're the ones with the data and capabilities of doing it before, we're closer to that milestone than anyone else. So it's just remarkable. We planned for that Q2 session just as everybody else had done, and Todd and Joe and the team positioned ourselves after Q1 to be able to throw down like that after running that 67. So it's all about strategy for those small moments in time, and it comes down to pure perfection. And in my opinion, and I'm glad we have, currently the results and times to back it up, I think I've got the best, most talented crew, and I think that's because it derives from passion, and we're one big family and friends, and it's been absolutely amazing. I don't think I couldn't have asked for anything more this weekend out of anybody.
Your guys told me that they gelled really quickly. Like, this is the coolest group of guys I've ever been around. We gelled so quickly, it's almost weird, was the quote. Is this, though, a prelude to what we're going to see in the countdown? You and Antron, final round, for everything, best of the best, really grinding it out. I think we just got a taste of what it's going to be like.
I sure hope so. I was thinking, coming in here, I'd done another interview, and someone asked me, how important is the momentum of Brainerd for Indy? And I said, well, you know what? I don't know. I've never been in that position. This team together has never been in that position. And I really thought these races are they're obviously separate, but here at Brainerd is about throwdown, and Indy is longevity and different conditions. So you take each race individually, but I'm obviously a huge fan and proponent of the momentum that we have now, to carry it into Indy and get as tight and as close as possible to start the countdown off, as high as we can.
And the U.S. Nationals, you'll be doing a little extra duty, there's a test coming up. WFO is usually on Tuesdays. You are testing for the Sam Tech Factory Stock Showdown. How cool is that? You'll be running full body car. You've had some practice against Papa John this year. Tell me about that.
It's been absolutely incredible. We are here today for one in the top fuel car because of our awesome partners. You take Papa John's, Fire Raid, Mopar, Pinto, Sparkling Ice, Hoonigan, everyone that's made it happen, and each of them have different goals, and I always want to be a part of them as much as possible. So Mopar and Dodge came together and they said, we want to re-enter in factory stock. We'd love for you to drive. I said, I want to be a part of it no matter what my schedule is. And thank you. And and I got to test in Indy a couple weeks ago. So we'll be making that debut in Indy, but I fly out first thing tomorrow to Detroit, test in Milan for a day, go to California for another partner venture, and come back to Indy. And there's NHRA nitro testing this week. So doing as much as possible. But in a synopsis, Indy is going to be, first and foremost, this top fuel car making as much headway into that countdown as possible. Then we have the Dragster shootout, and then I have 2 charity challenges with Papa John, one for the Make-A-Wish Foundation and one for Infinite Hero, and then I have factory stock. Now, after top fuel, you order them however you want, but my team has my back. They know my crazy schedule, and they help me out as possible, and I haven't cried, shed a tear. I'm not a real big emotional person, but coming back from the top end, sitting right across from Alexis, we've got our Wallies. I see Joe Barlam on the scooter headed down to go congratulate, and once again, we missed that moment. And so we're, high-fiving 500 feet away from each other, and I got teary-eyed. It was my first solace moment I've had in a while. Even though there's so much commotion, I just look up and I thank God for these people and partners that He's blessed me with. It is out of this world. So I just thank everybody.
And thank you for making the time for us on WFO Radio. It's been so fun to watch. This is why I got involved in drag racing many years ago as a fan, and then now as a job. To see moments like this, it has been awesome. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, and thank you for everybody that listens, follows, pays attention, and supports our team, everybody else's team, this sport in general. That's another big major vision and goal we have is, continue the growth of this sport, add more cars, add more, major companies, and man, it's our life and our passion. Just thank everybody for sharing it with us.
WFO Radio here with the assistant crew chief for the Papa John's Top Fuel Dragster, driven by Leah Pritchett, Joe Barlam. It's important to get it right, Joe. It's important to get it right.
Yeah, well, you
guys got it right this weekend. Quickest ever. You've been around drag racing for a long time. The quickest run in history. How many other times have you had the quickest run in history?
A long time ago, working with Lee Beard, we did, and that was pretty special. But
the difference now is there's so many cars to beat now. Way more competitive cars, and really satisfying this time of year when it's most important to be running good, to come out here and have a performance like we did.
And your driver, you and Antron in the final round, Leah versus Antron, but the march to the final was not easy by any stretch of the imagination. And I feel like there's something, like when you have an unbelievable performance, very often we see a team that does that get tripped up. It happened with Robert Height. You guys were able to deliver, winning the Wally on the same weekend. You had that great performance. That's a capper.
Yeah, I mean, that was the thing when it came time to race Clay, and Clay had run a couple of 65s. It was really a big help that we'd run 64 Friday night, because, we just got to kind of fine-tune that run for the semis, and, it turned out to be a big help.
Papa John is bringing Jimmy John around, and there's a momentum and an energy around Leah, the team, Todd Okahara, yourself. You guys are part of something, and I feel that it is actually helping grow the whole sport of NHRA drag racing. When a guy like Jimmy John subs gets out, he's like, wow, this is the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life as far as a motorsport. They have cars in NASCAR already. Yeah. How does that make you feel, knowing that you're not just winning races, you're doing something that has caught the attention outside of drag racing?
Yeah, I mean, it's really, it's really a huge benefit to us to have somebody like Papa John involved, and then bring guys around like Jimmy John and Kent from Texas Roadhouse, and obviously it's a huge benefit to us, but it's also really cool to know that their involvement is going to do nothing but help the entire sport, and they're interested enough to where they want to grow the sport, and not just our team, but obviously they want to have the best team, but they also want to elevate the sport, and that's a huge thing to be part of.
Joe, this win is huge. It's been a great season, all of that stuff, but now we're looking ahead. We've got the Chevrolet Performance U.S. Nationals. That's one race that if you can win it, it makes a great season. And then the playoffs. Ending strong, delivering on the deal, making the most of this year. What do you guys do? Do you reset? Do you have a meeting? Do you keep doing what you're doing? I know you're going to go test, but tell me what the next few weeks hold for the team.
Really, we're just going to fine-tune our stuff and try and build our depth, because this is the most important part of the year. We were fortunate to run good early in the year. Obviously, then you race through the summer, and it's hot and greasy, and now this time of year, it's cooler, the tracks are better. You're going to be running 60s on race day. So that's the biggest thing, is we're fortunate that we ran good early, so we're hoping to run good late. And so we're really not looking for a new setup. We're just going to try to fine-tune what we have.
There you go, and there's like a bee hovering around us. I hear they hate red, Joe. I hear they hate red.
Yeah.
What color are you wearing?
I'm wearing red, and I'm holding a red cup, too. Spoils the victory.
There you go. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Gray Motorsports is celebrating. We're here with Tanner Gray. Dave Connolly's here. Your dad's here. The whole team's here. 4th victory as a rookie. That's high on the season for anybody.
Yeah. No, it feels really good. My guys have given me an awesome car, man. I mean, they've really picked it up these last few races, and there's no reason why we can't go out there and run for this championship.
Look at this little guy. He's got your Wally. Yeah, who is this guy?
This is Gabe. We met Gabe in the zoo yesterday, and I told him if we win, he needs to come to the winner's circle, and I happened to look over before I walked on stage and see him sitting over there, so he went out and took my place.
That is awesome. What's up, Gabe? How are you?
Good.
You happy with this Wally?
Oh, I am. Seriously, I am.
How old are you, Gabe?
I'm only 9 years old.
9 years old.
Third year in a row here, so it's very nice.
Are we going to see you in a pro stock car someday?
Maybe.
Gabe, very cool.
Probably just like Jason Line.
Now, do you root for?
I meant building engines for NASCAR and then going into a pro stock car.
Oh, there you go. That was a good save, Gabe.
Yeah.
That was a good save. Now, how about Tanner? You're a kid. Is he a kid?
To me, he's a hero. I mean, he just keeps on inspiring me to keep on racing what I do best. Racing.
That is awesome, Gabe. Do you race? Do you do anything? Junior dragsters, anything?
I actually race at the NHRA in northern Wisconsin, Barker's Island, Superior, Wisconsin. Basically, there's races like in Solon Springs, then Barker's Island twice, once before the away race and then once after. And the second time at Barker's Island, that's the last race, and that's Jesse's memorial race because he was a very good veteran racer and
Look at this
he
guy.
died.
That's very sad. Well, Gabe, you just stole Tanner's interview. Good job.
Thanks.
Tanner, all right. What do you think about that? That you got a little guy like that? Come on, you're a young guy, but you're inspiring young guys.
No, that's really cool. That definitely makes me feel good. It's cool to come out here and see what we can do as racers and see these little guys and listen to what they have to say. It's cool. This is what makes racing worth it, and I'm excited. I'm kind of speechless to be honest with you. These guys have given me an unbelievable car. I mean, that thing was so consistent today, and what can I say? They're definitely making my job easy.
Well, how about this one? All right, 4 wins, but the next win would be bigger than these 4 wins because it's the U.S. Nationals. Things are about to get extremely serious.
Yeah, no, the next race will be definitely a big race, especially with the 3 generations going to be there, and going into the countdown, you want those extra half points and stuff like that. But no, I'm excited. I'm ready for the countdown.
Congratulations on this win. Very awesome to watch. 4 wins on the season and a lot more to go.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. WFO Radio here with Pro Stock Motorcycle winner and champion Jerry Savoie. Jerry, you guys did some testing. You stopped the test, got in countdown and U.S. Nationals mode, and you got a Wally here, plus you and Ellie in the final round. Talk about this day compared to other days. This is a big deal.
Yeah, it's a big deal. I watched Ellie win here years ago and, kind of ate at me for a while and wanted to win this one really bad, especially being Lucas Oil. These guys put on a hell of a show. But, going back to the weekend, we didn't qualify really well, and everybody's asking us, are you guys all right? And we like, yeah, do we look like we have fever or something? No, you know what I mean. You're not running. Just hold on, dude. We're trying some things for the countdown. So, if you want to wait till the countdown to test, that's fine. But we were experimenting here, and yesterday afternoon it showed that we could still run with them. And then today, Tim, as a rider, Ellie, both and I, try to do the best we can every time. And we're not inhuman. We all screw up. I don't know if that's the right word to use on radio, but...
That's okay. On WFO, it's okay.
Yeah, the bottom line is Tim is one bad dude. And, both of these bikes are really, really fast. And it proved today. We went to the final. I mean, how many teams besides the Harleys have ever teamed up and went to the finals? I remember Matt and Angie Smith one time. And maybe back then with George Bryce and Angel and John Myers, but... besides that, I don't think nobody's ever accomplished that. So, Tim put all this together, and he gets the glory. And the guys, man, the crew we got, Jesus Christ. I don't think we'd have I just told them about, in the tower, I said, family. This is a family. This is my family away from home. I love these guys. We eat together. We sleep together. Not in the same bed, but we do sleep together. All right? They don't definitely want to sleep with me in the same bed. I snore like a wolf, but...
You're not the only one from what I hear.
I hear you. But the bottom line is, when you have everything clicking in your pits, it shows on the track. So I've been blessed, man. It's a good deal.
All right, the championship year last year, winning the U.S. Nationals a couple of years back, and now being a part of this. I know it's like all one growth period. You wanted to build a super team. You said that a few years ago. You really wanted to build something, and now it's happening, and you're watching it take shape, and it's working. But here we are, countdown time again. What would really drive home the point is a title, a U.S. Nationals, all those things coming up. Are you ready?
Yeah, we're ready. Tim's got it together. He proved that today. We went 84 or whatever in the finals. Was pretty stout. I asked him this morning, I said, hey, what you think about 86? He said, 86 would be badass. He said, 85 would be really stout. 84, you got everything you can out of this thing, man. And, we went out there and run 84, I think, on 2 passes. So, he's excited. We're making him proud. We're making the guys proud. We're enjoying it. The countdown is not something that I put myself under pressure. And, you know me by now, Joe, that, I want to win, okay? But whatever happens, happens. Man, I'm 58 years old. I'll take it as it comes. So I don't have any pressure on myself as far as trying to be the champion again. I can promise you this, we're going to make a run for it, both of us. So we'll see what happens.
All right, one final question. Now, I heard that it was proposed to you that if you guys made the final round, our friend Carl Cam from Nitro Fish, you call him what?
Crazy Carl.
Would go to St. Louis, because he's been kind of like a vagabond touring around the country, and if in Norwalk, he said, Ellie, if you win, he'll go to Denver. Ellie won, he went to Denver. Here he is at the zoo, all that stuff. I hear he feeds you guys pretty well, but he said, I don't know if it was a threat or a bet or whatever, but if you guys made the final, he's coming to St. Louis. Did you have any thought of throwing the race?
He said if we go to the finals and I win the race, he would go to St. Louis. And I would tell you I rode the throttle, but the time wouldn't prove that. It's when I heard LE fall behind, I'm like, I think about rolling this throttle. Carl's coming with us. But, you know, it's all good. Carl's a great guy. He's a friend of Mr. Kenny Koretsky and Nitro Fish. And, you know, like I said, it's all about family, and we're glad to have him. We love him.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations. Go celebrate. U.S. Nationals next. And do you still have the hat that I spilled all the wine on?
I sure do. And it's got the red stain on it. I sure do.
That's me. I was there.
Yeah, you're right. I appreciate it. I was at the restaurant.
Jerry, congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Joe.
WFO Radio here with top alcohol dragster winner in the Lucas Oil Series, Justin Ashley. Last time you won, we got you on the phone. This time it's in person. How does it feel to win at Brainerd?
It feels absolutely amazing. You know, it feels just like the first time when I won in Gainesville, and you know, I keep saying the same thing over and over, but it's true. I'm very blessed. I have a great team. I just sit in the car and drive and just do my best to do my job. But Randy Meyer and Megan Meyer, Mary Meyer, they do a fantastic job of making sure that I'm taken care of and putting me in a winning car. And Megan Meyer is a great mentor for me, too. So really happy to leave here with a win. You got the racing DNA, obviously. I love watching your dad get excited, though. You don't get to see it. You're in the car. We see it. He goes nuts. Yeah, that means a lot to me, to be honest. You know, I know how much it means to him and how much it means to me. So to see him be excited like that and to hear about it, you know, I think it's just an awesome deal. Now, you know, as a kid, watching your dad, thinking about racing, do I want to do it? Am I going to do it? I'm doing it. Oh, man, I won. Now I've won a couple. Like, is this more advanced of where you thought you would have been? Yeah, I think it probably is, to be honest with you. I mean, every time I come to the racetrack, I expect to win. That's just the bottom line. You know, that's what we come out here for. But at the same time, to be a rookie and race against, you know, some of the toughest competition in the world, you know, to be winning races this early in my career is amazing, and it's probably surprised me a little bit, yeah. Are we going to see you at the Big Go? I'll be there. Yeah, Justin Ashley, good job. Congratulations on this big win. Very fun to watch. You really controlled that car, saved it. I don't know what happened to get in that situation, but you saved the heck out of it and won the race. That was big. Thanks so much. I really appreciate it. WFO with our racing RV's top sportsman winner, a first-time winner, Brian Heath, who has a awesome Pontiac GTO all-silver, up from Texas, straight north, picking up your first Wally. Now that it's sunk in a little bit, we spoke about, I don't know, was that an hour ago? Yep. It has sunk in. Everyone else in Top Sportsman's walking out of here having been defeated, except for you.
Amen. I'll tell you right now, we had a lot of people involved to make this happen. Our engine builder, Hans Fustel, that guy's incredible. He built us a motor that stays together, easy maintenance, runs hard. The Division 4 guys that we race against all the time, man, they you know, when you cut your teeth down there in Texas, you know, you're racing with the best, yeah. So you're prepared to go anywhere in the country and race. So we've been wanting to get here, and we finally got here after 3 years of trying. Did you get out in the zoo at all? We did make a trip over into the zoo. What did you think of that? It earned its name, no doubt. We've got like a mini deal like that down there at the Motorplex. The jungle, yeah. It's not. Yeah, the zoo's more like Woodstock. A little muddy, a little swampy. A lot of people passed out, but but it was good. It's comparable. You know, Texas tries, but the zoo's the one and only. You know, there's nothing like it. Toughest race of the week? They were all tough. We had to go through a lot of tough Division 5 guys. Larry Demars, man, that guy's solid. So we knew we had our hands full, but if we got around him, we knew we had a bite of the final, and that was huge good. Run right there. That was a huge. It was a big win, We told Mohana when he had the bye 2 or 3 rounds ago. We said we'll see you in the final, and we were trying to make it happen. You know, put a couple D4 cars up here in Brainerd. Amazing cars too. Like I appreciate pretty cars, and you certainly got one. Brian, congratulations, first Wally. I'm glad I got to be part of it. Me too, brother. Me too. We'll see you down in Texas. Thanks for having us. We'll see you.
And there you have it, the winner's circle from the Lucas Oil Nationals, Brainerd, Minnesota. Final race, quasi-regular season in the NHRA, because the Chevrolet Performance U.S. Nationals does not count as a regular season race to me. It is the biggest of all races. It is the big go. It is worth 1.5 points. So all the normal races are in the books. Then the Chevrolet Performance U.S. Nationals, incredible, prestigious race, 1.5 points. And then the NHRA countdown begins. It is going to be awesome. How about those winners' interviews, including Joe Barlam, including Justin Ashley, including Brian Heath, and Jerry Savoie has been so cool over the course of the season. I was very fortunate to have a ride into the zoo on the White Alligator Racing golf cart. And it was so nice to know I had an escape route. I mean, a way out of there. Oh, yeah. But there's a story. There's a story. You hear him talking about Crazy Carl, our great friend Carl Franklin, a.k.a. Carl Cam, who you've heard us talking about for years, from the date we went up to see the folks at Nitro Fish at Maple Grove at the very beginning of WFO Radio. Carl Cam. Great times. Keeps showing up to races. They keep winning, and he keeps coming on to more races, which is great. He's going to be out there in St. Louis and Dallas, and maybe we can get him out to that Rodax gig out there in Dallas. Big-time stuff. Now, when we come back, I'm going to give you just my general thoughts about what happened out there in Brainerd. A little bit of my time, final segment. But right now, I want to tell you about RacerSupplyStore.com. Open a browser, go to RacerSupplyStore.com. Check them out. RacerSupplyStore.com. Check them out. And you will see that they have all the parts pieces that you're looking for, shipped to your door through the drop shipping method. You place your order, it shows up at your house, and everybody's happy. It's very quick, it's very fast, and they've got everything you need. Whether it be hard parts like Willwood brakes, safety equipment like RaceQuip, something simple like WeatherTech floor mats, Holley, they have all the brands. Go to RacerSupplyStore.com. And maybe you're a bracket racer, and maybe you're used to getting your parts from somewhere else, and I get it. I get my parts, I've gotten my parts from multiple places. But this is a small business that is ramping up. This is the American dream. This is entrepreneurship at its best. They developed the site, they got together the relationships, and now they're making a go out of it. So we always talk about that's what we need in America. We need people to go out and start businesses and take risk. And that's what these guys are doing. Great bracket racers, great intellects. They've been there and done that on so many things, whether it be fuel injection or pro touring cars or whatever it is, they've done it. Not to mention pretty good behind the wheel as well. Doug and George and the team can give you personalized customer service. And I know that's what everybody craves, that personalized customer service. Go to RacerSupplyStore.com, check out the site, and then when you order whatever it is, and they've been very open when they say, just give us a shot. Order the parts and see if the parts arrive and you're happy. And if you are, then try the next time. Simple as that. Put them in the rotation. You can use the promo code WFO Radio to save 5%. 5% off your bill. 5% off. That's not bad. RacerSupplyStore.com. Check them out. Doug, George, the team over there. Big supporters of WFO Radio. We love them as well. Check them out. RacerSupplyStore.com. I'll be back with final thoughts after this.
Everybody, listen carefully.
Now you listen to me. Why do you listen? WFO, you guys are number one.
Honest. Listen.
The dog days of summer, and boy, is it hot. But let me tell you, I love starting every day off with a little Rodax coffee and grills.com. That's right, Marvin Rodak and his gourmet coffee right from Texas. The WFO Radio Blend, the Bang the Blower. Over 40 single original coffees to choose from that are all roasted fresh per your order. They've got the Kopi Luwak, the exotics. They represent the top 5% of coffee grown throughout the world. He's been doing it since 1976, and he is sitting there right next to the phone right now waiting for your call. 817-924-6821. I love it. It's great stuff. You should definitely give it a try. And if you're grilling on the weekends, try some A26 award-winning spice rub. Try some of the Habanero Endorphin Booster hot sauce and the other 3 great blends of hot sauce Marvin's got. He's got coffee wood. He's got recipes and tips for grilling. Check out the website, RodaxCoffeeandGrills.com, but most importantly, give them a call, 817-924-6821 or RodaxCoffeeandGrills.com.
Get fired up on the WFO line.
WFO, Joe.
954-889-6796.
Just been an absolute joy to be a drag racing fan.
Go wide open, and your call may be used on the show.
Or preface by saying I'm not a Kurt Busch fan or apologist. I don't know where Greg Anderson's ego is gone, but I know one person that's going to be a big-time villain in pro stock.
That's 954-889-6796. That phone line is always WFO.
Your education. What are you doing? Look, I know you want to become an engine builder. I know you want to work in a machine shop. I know you know that is a very in-demand position, but you think you could probably learn it by hanging around the shop. The way to do it is to go the School of Automotive Machinists and Technology route, samtech.edu, where you can do all of those things except get an accredited education by real racers, where they don't sponsor race cars. Their cars are the curriculum. samtech.edu. Motorsports is exploding around the world. It is a job that cannot be outsourced. In fact, they might ship you in to work on their stuff. That's how in demand the job is. Engine builder, machinist, motorsport EFI, they do it all. Check them out, samtech.edu.
Now, back to WFO Radio, NHRA Nitro.
Final segment, WFO Radio, My Time. We've got our guests all in the books. And how about that on-location audio? How about Alexis Dejoria and Alan Reinhart? Just amazing. Hopefully, you will share the show and occasionally patronize one of our great sponsors like Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School. And this is one that I think we're getting close to the holidays. Maybe it's Christmas time or time to get a gift for someone at the end of the year. You want to reward them for being a great friend or being a nice person or being a great customer. Go to frankhawley.com. Check them out. Of course, it started at $399, but the experience you are getting is so much more than that. It will truly last a lifetime. And one of our WFO Radio listeners actually went out there and did this and is going to be on the show to report back, did the Dragster adventure. Go to the website, frankhawley.com, go to Dragster Adventure and check it out, because there's classes that go around the country, and you can be a part of it. Call them, 866-480-7223. Tell them you want to do the Dragster Adventure. Maybe you want to get it as a gift for your guys, your sales team, your great clients. Who knows? But I can tell you they will remember it forever, and people in the WFO audience, I want you to experience what these racers feel. There's no way for you to do it except for you to go out and go racing, which is great. But maybe you just want to go and have an experience for a day. Well, this is how to do it. $399, 1 half-track pass, 2 full-track passes. You're doing the burnout. You're staging the car. You're turning off in the shutdown area. You're doing the whole thing yourself. Jack Beckman was on. He says the feeling of accomplishment is so great that confidence will probably factor into the rest of your life. Once you do this, you'll probably be able to do anything. $399. Go to frankhawley.com to find out more information. And they've got other kinds of great stuff going on, too, including you can get your license for Super Comp or Super Gas. If you want to drive an alcohol car, you can do that, too. The pros do it. You should, too. Check them out, frankhawley.com. And we greatly appreciate Frank and Lana and what they do for WFO, help keeping us on the air. And if you get to this point in the show, My Time, the very last segment, the tail end of the show, you know that it's time. The interviews have been just amazing. How great was Leah and Joe Barlam and everyone involved. Nicky Boninfante, Brian Heath, Jerry Savoie. Just love our guests. And Alan Reinhart and what you hear on the show. I got to meet many WFO radio listeners, many out there in the zoo. And I did go into the zoo this year. Past couple of years, I had not. Ever since I had that negative experience with the guy that I labeled Zoosh. Not just one person. That's anybody who's acting negatively out in the zoo. And just a great time. Ran into 2 guys. You saw them on television, Otto and Mike. But you won't know who they are until I tell you the guy with the giant Leah Pritchett helmet. That guy. I should have asked Leah about the giant Leah Pritchett helmet. Saw them out in the zoo at the Jaeger Bar. It was just very cool, having some destinations to go with people that you know. WFO listeners, went to Camp Pallet, hung out there, watched the fireworks. Just a great experience. Cruz Pedregon was out there. Everybody was out there. It was good. Should I have not said that? No, Cruz is fine. You never know when people want to be incognito out in the zoo. I will say it was kind of tame compared to years past, but I think that is maybe a good thing. I don't know. But I was out there for a little while, and Carl Cam was actually my ride out of there. And for a few minutes, I thought things are getting a little dicey here because I lost my ride. It was a total zoo story. I had a ride. There's the cart. The cart is right there. Looked away, looked back. Cart gone. Everybody gone. Me alone. I felt like a kid in the mall, right? Your parents leave you, and you're looking around. Where are my parents? And they came back finally, fortunately. And I was picked up and headed out of the zoo. This was Saturday night. It was just great. But everybody says, they say, boy, I guess I should go to Brainerd, huh? And the answer is yes. That is the great challenge of NHRA drag racing, is like, where are you going to go? There are so many great events all coming up. I hear people are already working on costumes for Vegas. So many great events. Where are you going to go? Brainerd has got to be on your list. Now, I did want to talk about a couple of things. One, WFO graphic artist volunteer, Steve, who has the website bustedknucklemedia.com, has created WFO flags. And that is one thing I did not see enough of out in the zoo. Now, I know we have WFO listeners, but we did not have any WFO flags. And so he actually works in a graphic design department, and you can check out the website, bustedknucklemedia.com. And frankly, this is he and I working together to benefit the WFO universe. I know a lot of you folks like to tailgate. You like to be in the zoo. You like to party at the NASCAR races. You like to fly cool flags. The WFO Radio Motorsports Talk flag, I think, is one of the cooler that I've ever seen. He has put it up there. It is available. It is 5x3. I have one. I have the one and only copy to this point. And instead of doing them in-house where I'm running around trying to do this stuff, he is doing it. WFO Radio not receiving any of the profit. He is taking that money and applying it to being able to make more of these flags and maybe do some graphic art stuff for us. So this is genuinely supporting WFO Radio. If you are a fan, you want to support WFO Radio by flying a flag, go to bustedknucklemedia.com, and they've got e-commerce, and it's all set up and ready to go. And the flags are great. I have one. It's here. And it's really cool. You know, that's one thing. All the, gear and shirts and stickers and apparel, it all takes a lot of time. And we focus on doing the show. The show takes all of our time. And it is a great challenge, but we are growing and slowly growing. And world domination is right around the corner. And I had so many people ask me about that. You know, the podcast. How's the podcast going? The podcast, as far as the show and the content, it's going great. Growing the audience, always a challenge, but going pretty well. But now we're getting into the time of season where we are able to grow. If you are an NHRA fan, I know you've got friends that don't know about the show. I meet people every week. As much as I try, they don't know about WFO, what WFO is, how to get WFO, because it's just masses. It's a numbers game. The big initiative starts now as the countdown is coming. Next, Traxxas Nitro shootouts. Voting. Get on the case. Vote, vote, vote. The Chevrolet Performance U.S. Nationals are next week. I travel out on Tuesday. I begin work on the mic on Wednesday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Am I going to have a voice? Probably not. But I'm going to try. I'm going to make it. I'm going to do my best. I'm going to use all the tricks of the trade and the ticks, them too. All of them are going to get utilized, and we'll try our best. But I know for certain we're going to see some of the most amazing things over the Chevrolet Performance U.S. Nationals. If you're in the area, you should definitely come out. Let's make this the biggest one ever. Something incredible is happening in the NHRA. I did a Facebook Live for NHRA's Facebook page. And Nicky, who does the social media on NHRA's Facebook page, and all the social media, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook Live, She does it all. She comes up with this great idea, and it was amazing. We started off in Leah Pritchett's pit, talked with Leah about running 364, then took a walk and talk through the pits, and then into the AAA Camaro's pit, John Force Racing, and spoke with Jimmy Prock, Chris Cunningham, and Robert Height about both running the quickest run ever in their respective categories. And it was very cool. It was also, you got Don Schumacher Racing and John Force Racing in the same piece, which is a great challenge because sometimes, we don't want to promote the arch rival. And so that was a little interesting to see how the reaction came about that, wow, maybe not promote something about us because someone else is in it. But I digress. See a little inside information right there. But it was a very good piece, and you should definitely check it out. Also, Jed Coughlin bringing us into the transmission room in the Elite Motorsports team. So you could see all the gears, and you could see behind-the-scenes Pro Stock. It was tremendous. All on NHRA's Facebook page. I've shared them on our Facebook page. Good stuff, good work. There's a very good chance you didn't see it over the course of the weekend. You got to make sure to enable those push notifications for when we go live on NHRA's Facebook page. We've been doing some great stuff over the course of the season and been getting a lot of positive feedback on those. So check that out. Very good. You're going to get flags. You're going to check out this stuff. But now I want to talk about the Pro Stock burnouts and dry hops. We have spent a fair amount of time, and one of our listeners, Jim, is saying we're beating it into the ground about Pro Stock. But some of us are fans of Pro Stock, and some of us are fans of NHRA. And you might, I see it all the time. I get it all the time from an occasional person. And probably it's fake news. Did you ever consider someone might tell you their opinion, but not be telling the truth, just to annoy you? Did you ever think that? Yeah, I don't really like that stuff. That stuff's not really like, because I'm just trying to annoy you because I know you like it. I really don't think this way. That happens, and it's true. People are doing that all the time. We've been talking about Pro Stock a lot. What to do with the category, what can help the category, what can bring the category back in the minds of many people. And most of it costs money. New bodies, new style chassis, new style engines, new style whatever. Superchargers on small blocks. Everything costs money. And Alan Johnson has told me, and Jason Line has told me, and I can say it on the show, that every change they have been asked to make to save money or to better the sport has cost the money and not bettered the sport. From shorter wheelie bars, fuel injection, I will argue, has bettered the sport by making it technically relevant. And so I still stand by that as a positive change. But most of the other things have cost money. But we saw this past weekend, kind of as an accident, Shane Gray just messing around, breaking in tires, having some fun. There was no bigger cheer over the course of the weekend than for the Shane Gray burnouts. That's it. And it brings us back to the word showmanship that has been bantered about on this show many, many times. Showmanship. Drag racing always has been a show, from match racing in the early days, Jungle Jim Lieberman, all that stuff. A show that became competition, and it is a competitive show, and then there's competitions, but there's got to be a show to it. And seeing a pro stocker just boil the tires for 200 feet is clearly a show people like. And when Vincent Nobile gets in on the mix, and Vincent, I guess he felt like he had an agreement with Shane Gray to do a nuclear burnout in round one, and Shane did a pretty long burnout, and Vincent did an extremely long burnout. And Vincent thought were both going to do extremely long burnouts and et cetera. A little miscommunication there, and I hope Vincent doesn't feel like he got put out on that one. My thought is that, Shane did a pretty long burnout, certainly not a short burnout, but maybe he had been doing them all week and wasn't quite as long as in the past. I don't know. But then Derek Kramer did a long burnout. And why did you do that? Well, everyone was having so much fun, I wanted to get in on the action. Exactly. And you heard Alan Reinhart on the show say, there are no negatives, there's just no real reason to do it. No reason to do it. No, there is a reason to do it. And like he said, and I am saying, and I'm really talking to the pro stock drivers and their direct friends and families right at this moment. The reason to do it is because the fans like it. I know it's a strange concept. Doing something for people because they like it. Now, there is no monetary return, and there is no direct performance return. And maybe somewhere in the universe there's a slight performance negative. But if you're a showman, you put on a show. Is pro stock a category where the drivers understand that they are supposed to try to put on a show? That is a good question. Yes or no? Is pro stock a category where the drivers know that they are supposed to try to put on a show, thus being showmen? And we're going to find out. I see no reason, given the response. Let's test this idea. Let's do a crazy long burnout. Dry hop is a different story. I don't know what the deal is with the clutch and the dry hop, and I hear you can knock the clutch out of it. Jeff from Gray's team said, didn't do anything. It still looked pretty good. Looked good. I think that was after the dry hop. That might have been after the burnout. But I digress. The fans have already voted. It's not like the Traxxas Nitro Shootout voting, which is going on now. It's already over. The fans loved it. Long burnouts rule. They want them. They're telling you they want them. What are you going to do? Are you going to do them? Or are you going to continue to not do them? Now, I have no idea what the response is going to be, and I know I've got a lot of PR people that listen and media people that listen, and you all have a pro stock driver in your orbit. This is it. The way I like to look at it is, are you willing to do the thing that is unnecessary to please the people that like it? If you are, the category should continue and flourish. If you're not, maybe the category shouldn't continue and will not flourish. If the people who are participating are unwilling to do things to make the fans happy, I think it's a real cut and dry, crystal clear kind of thing. I've asked many people, long burnout, what's the downside? What's the damage? Where's the problem? Why not? No real reason why not, just that it's not necessary. So how about making the fans happy then? How about when we go out for qualifying at the Chevrolet Performance U.S. Nationals, it becomes a pro stock burnout showcase. And all of a sudden, everybody that's leaving the grandstands, and I still say 60% stay in the grandstands. I know that's an argument that a lot of people don't like to have. Well, people leave. Yes, people leave. You could launch SpaceX on the starting line after Funny Car, people will leave. It's just the way it is. Those nitro cars are loud and the smell and the speed and the fury. There are some people that are just there to see that. That's it. But 60% or more stay in the stands. And a couple of first pair side-by-side pro stock nuclear burnouts out to 300, 400 feet will sit their butts right back down. Whoa! We got to see this. What's this? You've got races decided by thousandths of a second. You've got good personalities. If you're putting on a show with these burnouts, maybe people will overlook the fact that the category is mostly Camaros. Maybe people will overlook the fact that the bodies aren't exactly like the cars they see on the streets, because they'll be getting something out of it. So we're going to find out. It'll be very interesting to see what happens. I know that I'm going to talk to all the pro stock people that I communicate with and say, there it is. There's the roadmap. There's something you can do that doesn't cause you to re-engineer, rebuild, repurchase parts and pieces. You can just do it. or not do it. Now, who will do it and who will not do it? Will it get done or won't it? Brian Loans had said, this is how you save the category. 101. Do something. Make a change. Aggressively do something. Alter your performance. Shane Gray did it to break-in tires. Now imagine there's a big room. Imagine it's The Godfather, and you're having a meeting of the 5 families. And everybody is deciding what's going to go. And you get together and you have a meeting and you agree. This is what we're going to do for the betterment of all of us. We're going to agree to all do long, smoky, entertaining burnouts. And the word is entertaining. Entertaining. And everybody in this room who is a regular on the tour is going to do it. Do you agree? Yes. Do you agree? Yes. And you go around all around to the 5 families of Pro Stock. Are there 5? It's really like 4. And you go around and you get a commitment. I will not be the one to break the peace. And then, when someone breaks the peace, everybody knows who it is. Yeah, this team, they broke the peace. They stopped doing the long, smoky, entertaining showcase burnouts. And they tried to sneak a competitive advantage in. And at that point, I don't know what happens. Do we ridicule them? Do we? I don't know what you do. You can't. You can't go Godfather on them. That's for sure. But you can definitely, call them out. Hey, we had an agreement. What's up? Why'd you break the agreement? Well, I don't feel like doing a long, entertaining burnout. I don't feel like being entertaining. I just want to race. And the quote that John Asher used in his column that was so controversial, which maybe I still don't know who said it, and I probably don't want to know who said it. We're just a bunch of rich guys playing with our toys. Why can't we be left alone? Paraphrase, that's a paraphrase. Something close to that. Certainly that's the way I felt it was intended. Just leave us alone to play with our toys as a bunch of rich guys. Wow, that's just the most damaging thing that could possibly have been said. Now it's time to do a comeback. Make a comeback. Long burnout. Pro Stock. The V8 500 cubic inch engines sound spectacular on the burnout. And the sound is part of it. And that's why everyone loves it. So there it is. There is the soapbox. We're going to get down off of the soapbox. Who am I speaking with? The fans. Let your drivers know. Let your favorite drivers know. Go to your Facebook page. Long Smoky Burnouts. Do it. Media members, advocate it. Get on there. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, your social media. Pro Stock Big Burnouts. Let's make a hashtag, something like that. And drivers and crew members. I spoke with enough crew members to know that it's not detrimental. Alan Reinhart has been in Pro Stock. Spoke with enough people to know there's no detriment. You're just electing to not put on a show. Hey, get out there on that stage. Okay, now you're out there. What are you going to do? I'm just going to stand here. Yeah, but you're on the stage. You're a showman. You're putting on a show. Yes, I know. The show is good enough with me standing here. Either you will like it or you will not like it. But this is all you're going to get because there's no great benefit in me doing anything entertaining. I am just going to stand here and you will enjoy what I give you. Isn't it great? Oh, no, it actually is kind of boring. Maybe this show should end. And that's where we're at. Pro Stockers, big burnouts. That's what I'm all about. I love it. And it's something. It's a move. It's a move being made. And thanks to, it's an accident. It's not like Shane Gray went out there like, yeah, I'm just going to do big burnouts. There was a necessity for it. And through that accident, we got real-time feedback from a real NHRA audience. And they loved it. There it is. End of point. I think this is kind of the biggest no-brainer we've ever had. Let's see if the people in Pro Stock can run with it or back it down. That's that's where we're at. All right, everybody, thank you so much. So much to get into after the zoo. It's just a great racetrack, great facility, a lot of nice people, a lot of cool stuff, fireworks, spectacular. But now it is on to Indy and the Chevrolet Performance U.S. Nationals. I'll be headed up there. Going to be trying to get, I don't know, shrimp cocktail at St. Elmo's as rapidly as possible. I think it is going to be great. Next week on the show, we got Brian Massengill, Samtech Factory Stock Showdown. We're going to talk about that. Leah's in there. Erica's in there. They're all going to try to qualify for the 16-car field. We're going to have Bobby Bennett on the show, previewing CompetitionPlus.com's, Major League coverage of the Big Go, bringing out the A-team, says he. I don't know who's going to be B.A. Baracus, though, on the A-team. Is that who we meant, the A-team? The show is going to be great. Got a lot going on. Please share the program. Write us a review on iTunes or iTunes for the mobile application, those 5-star reviews. Elevate the show. If 2 of you sign into iTunes and write a positive review, they will help the show. Simple as that. Rodax, Racer Supply Store, Sam Tech, Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School, everyone that helps us out. NHRA National Dragster and NHRA.com. Phil Burge is posting the show every week. That is great. You should all be NHRA members. Talk with someone, they were like, I'm not an NHRA member. Why are you not an NHRA member? Do you understand all the benefits? You should check it out. It is so worth it. Plus, you get NHRA National Dragster. Hopefully, get Phil Burgess next week, too. That is my goal. All right, everybody, that's going to do it. Great times this week. Don't forget to vote, Traxxas Nitro Shootout, and all the great stuff. Check out social media and share the show. That's going to do it. We'll see you next time. Thanks to our guests, Alexis Dejoria, Leah Pritchett, Joe Barlam, Nicky Boninfante, Tanner Gray, Jerry Savoie. I mentioned Alexis already, and of course, Alan Reinhart. We'll see you next time right here on WFO Radio.
WFO! The views and opinions of the hosts, guests, or callers do not necessarily reflect that of the station ownership, advertisers, or agencies.
I love WFO Radio.